It's Saturday morning. I think this is August, is it 20th? I just finished the Farm Girl quilting on the Farm Girl vintage baby quilt, and I'm going to proceed to show you how to put chenille on it. Now, there are two things you need to know. You need to make up your mind at what time, I should say, you are going to chenille it. Are you going to chenille it during the quilting process, or are you going to chenille it after the quilting process? So if you send quilts out to your long arm quilter and you've placed the chenille on it but it has not bloomed, I recommend you bloom it before you send it to your long armer. The reason being, and I'll show you this, is if you stitch over any of the raw chenille before it's bloomed, it's going to stitch it down and it will not bloom correctly. So you need to make up your mind if you're going to put it on your top or if you're going to put it on after you quilt. I have chosen to do free motion on this, and I did not want to put it on before. I am going to put it on at my long arm, but you can certainly put it on at your sewing machine at any time. Alright, right here is some pre-made chenille. I got this at the thrift store very, very inexpensively. Rolls that are about twice as big as this run about $12. I recommend you make your own chenille. If you are just making short passes on your quilt where it's just short, just cut fabric on the bias. This is, I think this is 3/8. You can get 5/8 and you can get 1 inch. And you can layer them up on your quilt, so if you put the largest down first, and it will look like stump work where when it blooms, it'll bloom in a dome. But this will bloom just as well, and I only used 2 layers of this, and I did this on a previous quilt and it turned out great. And the great thing about bias is it has stretch, so if you're doing curves or loop-de-loops, and I'm going to do the pigtail on this pig, it will make the curve perfectly. So let's get started. Pardon me while I move the camera. I'm going to tack this down, and pig's tails usually come off like this. I may come up and go around and make it a big curly Q. And let me get my scissors, just cut off a couple pieces. And I'm going to cut these at an angle so they don't fray the wrong way. So dog ear your ends. Not necessary, but you can do it if you want. Alright. And again, because this is a solid, it doesn't matter which way I put this, facing up or facing down. I'm not going to pay any attention to that because it's all going to bloom in the end. Okay. See how tight of a curve key we can get. Be very careful if you are installing this with your machine. Do not sew over your finger. Come on. Okay, that's really straining my machine. I need to calibrate my machine. Okay, I'm going to take a couple stitches forward and a couple stitches back. And apparently this is 3/8 because my foot is 1/2 inch and it covers it completely. So I'm just going to kind of go in the direction I want to go. I'm trying to stay inside, and do not worry if you are not staying perfectly parallel with your line. It will not matter. Okay. Curly Q. I'm going to end it about right there. I'm going to take a couple stitches back and forth right here, just so that it locks it. Alright, now that I got that out of the way, I'm going to snip that. Kind of looks like a pig's tail. And now I will take a brush and I will brush this. And I forgot my brush. Let me see if I've got some. Okay, so I went to the hardware store and got a set of brushes, and I left them at home. They cost $5. They have wire brushes and they have nylon brushes. A toothbrush is not stout enough to do this, so you're gonna actually have to use like a cleaning brush or something. I'm gonna use, this is the top of an air conditioner cleaner. If you use a wire brush, it's going to end up fraying your fabric. So make sure you use, isn't that fun? And I bloomed it. Now I will be also adding eyes. I will be adding legs to the sheep, and eyes and nostrils to the cows, and those pieces are very small. I've got to go home and cut those out. But that was just 2 pieces of fabric. You could get it to bloom really, really thick if you want real definition. For a baby quilt, this is a perfect embellishment. It's soft. It'll give them something to touch and feel as they get older, and it creates a texture contrast, which also is appealing to a baby. If you have any questions, put them down in the comment section, because I may have forgot to cover something. But again, if you want to make your own chenille, you're going to have to cut it. You could use a rotary cutter. You could use your 45-degree angle on your ruler and just come 45 degrees. Let's say this is the edge of your fabric. Come 45 degrees off with your ruler and just cut a strip the width that you want. And again, this is probably 3/8 inch. Okay, here I'm going to show you, I have stitched not perfectly in the middle, right here, not perfectly in the middle, and I've stitched over this twice. I've stitched over it where it stays down, which this is usually what happens, and this time I stitched it to where my foot kicked it over. So let me show you what happens when you bloom Alright, right here, it will not bloom. It will not fuzz evenly with the other side. And so it does affect how it works. And because this side pinched in, it may be okay after it gets washed. But this is the reason why you make your decision on if you're going to install it and bloom it before you quilt it, or if you install it after you're quilting or during while you're quilting it. Either way will work. It just depends on what you select. I hope this helps everyone out and try something different. This is really fun on a baby quilt. Thanks for watching.